Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of We Need to Talk. I'm your host, Malynda, and I'm joined by my co-host, Karmel, who is calling in from Downey.
What up, y'all?
Of course, we are still quarantined. We live in LA County. That's just the way it is right now. But that's not going to stop us from having good conversations about stuff. Since we are quarantined, we thought we would do a more fun episode instead of just talking about coronavirus all the time, because that's what everybody is talking about currently. But since we are quarantined, I've noticed, on social media, and I'm sure you've seen this, Karmel, people have been taking up new hobbies or watching new things or baking bread or, figuring out how to cook.
I think people are also figuring out that they can't cook.
I think that's very true.
It's not going to change in this quarantine, so I'm just quit.
Right. And maybe you shouldn't have posted that picture of that meal that you made, because now we're not coming over to your house for that barbecue.
I ain't never coming through.
Oh my gosh. But I've been, taking some time to watch shows that people have recommended and watch movies. So we're kind of just going to do our little top 5 of movies and TV shows that we think you guys should be watching during quarantine, because we all got all the time in the world. So, Karmel, what is first pick for you?
First on my list is one I was not aware of till a friend of mine told me to check it out. I don't really watch a lot of Netflix or Hulu or Prime, whatever, unless someone tells me to. So if I had been probably perusing through, I would have saw this, but I didn't. They just told me to go check it out. So The Heist, or The Money Heist, it's 2 different names. It's a Spanish movie from Spain, I guess.
Huh.
Series, it's a Spanish series.
Okay.
Very good. It's honestly kind of shocking because it's still well done. Not to say a lot of European TV shows aren't good, but the quality usually isn't great.
Mm-hmm.
This one's very good. I mean, and it's dubbed, so they're speaking in Spanish, but they're
okay.
Which I didn't get right away, but it's so good you don't notice it. So,
is it?
I'm through.
And it's a show or a movie?
I'm sorry, it's a series.
Okay, it's a series. How many episodes is it?
There's 3 seasons, and I think 10 episodes in each season.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of shows. First of all, there's no way anybody could ever get through the entire Netflix catalog. But I feel like there's a lot of shows like that do have overdub, because I know friends that do overdub for for Spanish or any kind of foreign language series or movies, and they do the English overdubs for them. But you find so many of those randomly on Netflix.
Yeah, there was another one I saw that the show was similar to Stranger Things. I can't remember the name of it, and it was also overdubbed. But it was so jarring to me, I couldn't watch it. I was like, this is weird.
It is, yeah. I can't get into the overdub thing because it just drives me crazy. Because it's like, I hear what you're saying, but your mouth is not saying that, and it's driving me crazy.
But I would say, 100%. But The Heist, the acting the voice acting is so good. It's really good. Like, I was really shocked.
The Heist.
And I like it because I don't want to spoil it in the movie, but there's a quarantine feel in the movie.
Oh,
so when you
hilarious.
watch, you're like, oh, that's funny that this would be happening in the movie. So in the show. So yeah, it's good.
Awesome.
Highly recommend it.
Very cool. Well, I'm going to shift gears a little bit because my TV recommendation is complete trash. But I've never been a reality television person. The only reality television I've ever watched really in the past has been singing shows, obviously because I'm a singer. So sometimes, I got into those, but I haven't watched The Voice or American Idol or any of those shows in a really, really long time. But in February, a new show came out on Netflix as well, and I saw everybody posting about it. I was like, I'm not watching it, because I hate the whole premise of The Bachelor and all of those dating shows. I think they're so stupid. However, I got so hooked to Love is Blind, I cannot even begin to tell you how good that show was. It was a reality television show. The whole premise of the show, which I find interesting, is that you do these blind dates, but they're literally blind dates. You don't see the person the entire time you're dating them. You're talking to them through a wall. And you're supposed to get to a point where you find the person that you want to marry. And I know it sounds ridiculous because it's who would get married to somebody after only talking to them through a wall for a week? There were several couples that, I don't want to give it away. There are several couples, though, that I were surprised ended up wanting to get married, surprised it didn't get married, blah blah blah, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's really kind of addicting, and it's interesting to see what matters to people from like a personality standpoint. That's what I found to be the most interesting, because you are watching these people have conversations. You're like, I don't think he would ever be attracted to her, or she would ever be attracted to him. But then they end up actually falling for each other straight up because of personality. So it really was kind of an interesting experiment to watch. But the drama was so good, let me tell you. So
Wow.
if you want to watch anything that is just complete trash, or something that is mindless, I know I say it's trash because it's complete trash. Like, I'm not gonna, it's trash. But if you want to watch something that's mindless, I do recommend watching Love is Blind, because there are some cute
Okay.
moments. There are some cute moments, but there's some characters that people, are like, these people are ridiculous. How do these people actually exist? And, to an extent, I'm sure most reality TV is, slightly scripted. But it was very entertaining. Have you heard of that show?
I have not.
Oh my gosh.
I have not. That's a new one.
It's,
But
yeah.
then again, I do know people who got married through social media, through dating services or whatever, and didn't really spend much time with the person, but there was a connection, there was a click, and I'm like, wow, that's a stretch. But now this is completely blind dating.
Yeah. Like 100% blind.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah, they're literally talking to each other through like this glass glass window, but like obviously you can't see through the window, and they're just having a date. And they start out with 15 girls and 15 guys, and they go on like several dates just to see who they might have a connection with. And then anybody that you continue to have a connection with, you can go on several dates throughout the time that you're there. But you basically have to make a decision within 30. Well, no, they set it up so that like the weddings are in 30 days from when they meet. It's crazy. I know. I mean, but there's like tons of shows like on TLC and Lifetime, which I haven't gotten into, but like my mom watches all of them and I don't understand why. But like it's hilarious. She watches like Bride and Prejudice or Married at First Sight or like 90 Day Fiancé and things like that. And it's really interesting what we will watch as entertainment, but then not really consider for our own personal lives. Because I have a lot of friends that are single, and they're like, I would never do that, but I'm totally watching this show. And I'm like, okay.
That's me. I could not fathom giving my life to someone after 30 days or 90 days or whatever, let alone just being open-minded to do the show. Because that's another thing that people, yeah, I'll do that. Like, what?
Right. It's
even try it.
My God. I mean, like John and I, we got engaged after 8 months of knowing each other, only really dating for 5 months. But then we got married a year and a half later. So that, even to a lot of people, was really, really quick. But 90 days, or not even, or Married at First Sight, which you literally show up to the altar and you're meeting your husband or your wife for the first time. I don't know if you heard about that show.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, that's nuts. I can't. Wow.
I know. But watching
I'll check it out.
Watching it is Love is Blind is very entertaining. All right, what's your next pick, Karmel?
My next TV show series is Ozark.
Yes.
Ozark is just fabulous, well written, well scripted, well acted television. That there's really nothing about that I can say like there's a twist or it's weird or whatever. It's a great show. It's funny because it reminds me of like a white version of The Wire.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Because I mean, if you guys don't know, it's in the Ozarks, which is in Missouri, super redneck country area. But it has to do with drug dealing and money and stuff like that. And The Wire, which to me is the greatest series of all time, is like the opposite. It's in the city, Baltimore, black folks, drugs, but still drugs and money, so it's kind of the same. But that's another I got into, and it's long. Each episode is very long, so that's one you can kind of watch all day. Some of these are kind of quick, and you're over, and you're done. You're like, oh, I got nothing else to do. It's 3:00 in the afternoon.
That's hilarious.
The rest of my day. Ozark, it'll take you a while to get through it, so that's another one why I recommend it.
Yeah, so we started Ozark. We've only gotten through, I think, the first season, or not even completed the first season yet. So I know we have a lot to catch up on. But what I did like about what I saw is that I love Jason Bateman as an actor in general.
Yes.
But this is such a different character for him.
Yes, completely agree.
Like,
completely agree.
He always kind of has like that dry, sarcastic humor in a lot of the shows that he does. But this is like Breaking Bad dark. Like, which I don't think that there's been a show like this since Breaking Bad went off. I don't know if you watched Breaking Bad, but I was a huge fan of that show. So it's cool to see him in this type of character, and I do think all the characters, like it's really well acted, it's really well written. I love this is something that people don't really like. Well, film people do, but I love the color aesthetic of Ozark because it's very dark.
Yes.
It's very dark and like kind of gray. The color palette that they chose for like color correcting. Which I think is interesting. You don't really see a lot of shows that look very grim like that.
That's actually a good point because I actually just discovered a Instagram page that posts different palettes from different movies, and you kind of see where they come up with the palette. Ozark is 100% agree with that. It's so very well colored. The scheme, the palette, everything you watch, you feel completely different. There's almost an emotional reaction to each scene and where they're at. So yeah, whatever that is called or what the category that is, they've done an excellent job with it.
I agree. So Ozark, check it out. Okay, so my next suggestion it's a TV series as well. And we'll get to movies in a little bit, but it's been on for a while. I thought, it's not continuing right now because obviously production's shut down. But when I first heard about the show, I thought it was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard in my entire life. And we've actually talked about this before. You're gonna know when I say what the title of the show is. I was like, that's so stupid. Who would want to watch this? This looks so dumb. Then I started watching it. And I have been hooked. So if you want to catch up, you can start on season 1. It's on Hulu if you have Hulu. But the Masked Singer. Let me no. You can knock it all you want. Have you given it a shot yet?
Yeah.
And you're not into it? Come on. You want to know who's under those costumes.
You know what, I do, but the whole the stretching of the show and how each the judge gives their idea who it is. It kills me. I can't.
I get it. It's really drawn out. It's really dramatic. I can't stand some of the judges, but I find it really, one, it's entertaining, but it's also interesting to see who you didn't know actually had singing talent. I find that aspect to be really, really interesting. Like, I want to give any names away, but there are definitely some actresses and actors or like athletes that have been on the show that I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea they can sing. Now, granted, not everybody on the show can actually sing. And that's the fun part of it. But I love the clues and I love trying to guess or trying to match that voice or like, oh, I've heard that voice before. I find it to be so entertaining. So I think you should catch up if you haven't watched it at all. The costumes are ridiculous. The judges' guesses are ridiculous. I mean, yeah. When are you ever going to see like a dancing banana or like a kangaroo in boxing gloves? Like it's singing. Like you're not going to see that on TV anywhere. And I wanted to hear the pitch for it. And I know you mentioned that before. Like you go into the office and be like, okay, I have a great idea for a show. We got all these celebrities to dress up in these ridiculous costumes. And then we get other celebrities to guess who they are.
Whoever pitched that, they are the greatest pitchman
ever.
Pitch woman.
Ever.
How they got that greenlit, I have no idea.
Anything past one season to me is a successful show.
Yes.
So the fact that they're on their 3rd season of this.
Because, I was like, once one season went through, I'm like, okay, let's have some fun. All right, one season. Then I'm like, wait, there's a second season of this? And now there's a third?
Yeah, there's a 3rd season.
Wow.
They know what they're doing. So, yes, congratulations to whoever pitched that idea. And I hope that you got, plenty of perks and a promotion.
Oh, yeah. Easily. They got their own company. There's no doubt.
100%. That's hilarious. But yes, watch The Masked Singer. It is a grand old time. All right, what's next on your list, Karmel?
Okay, so let me jump to a movie reference. Because I'm also big on timepieces.
Okay.
So to kind of get us out of this whole gloom that we're in, 2020, go to a different time, to the 1920s.
Oh.
Harlem Nights.
Ah. A classic.
Harlem Nights is probably one of my top comedies of all time. I love the Cotton Club time period and that whole time, that whole era. And that movie has so many great actors in it, and it's nonstop hilarity from beginning to end. I think it's a good choice also just to get people out of the depression that we're in with this quarantine, to watch something that kind of takes us away out of it. And Eddie Murphy's probably at his best in this movie. Richard Pryor's in it.
Agreed.
So many good, like I said, actors and actresses. So Harlem Nights, first movie choice.
And if you haven't seen Harlem Nights, shame on you.
Really? Yeah,
It's worth watching again, even if you have it. It really is just, it's a great film. It's great. I enjoyed it. When's the last time I've seen it? God, I feel like it's been a year. Now I want to go watch it again because you mentioned
yeah.
it.
I saw a clip, the pinky toe clip
Oh my
the
gosh.
other day,
Yeah.
and it made me okay. I gotta watch this again. So yeah, that if you haven't seen it, I'll say this: for Black folks, we should have all seen that. So
Yes. It's a
there are some
staple.
white folks who I know who probably didn't even hear the movie before. So okay,
Right.
if you haven't seen it, okay, cool. Treat yourself and go watch it.
Harlem Nights is definitely a staple. Who else is in that movie? I'm like trying to remember.
Oh
Because it launched,
man,
I feel like it did launch some careers.
no. So when you that's for sure. When you watch it, that's where they got their start.
Right. Right. That's definitely one of those movies.
Who was in Harlem Nights?
I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously we know Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy. Oh, Red Fox.
Red Fox, Arsenio Hall.
Della Reese was in it.
What's his name? The guy that passed. I forget his name. He was also in all the house parties.
I know Leela Rashawn, obviously.
Jasmine Guy's in
yes,
it.
yes, yes. Jasmine Guy. Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge like A-list black cast for sure.
Yeah,
it is. So good pick. I absolutely recommend that too. Good pick. So one of my movie picks was actually the winner of Best Feature Film at the Oscars. If you haven't seen it, it's actually on Hulu as well. But I highly, highly, highly recommend watching Parasite. Have you seen it?
No, but go ahead. I'll say something after you.
Okay. So I was like, what is Parasite about? I don't want to watch it, And I'm a member of SAG-AFTRA, so we get the screeners every year and we have to vote and everything. I was so surprised by how much I liked this film. And I'm not a big subtitle person. It really takes a lot for me to want to do a subtitle movie. But I didn't even, blink once with the subtitles. Like, they didn't bother me at all with this film. It completely kept my interest. I thought the screenplay was completely original, which it won Best Original Screenplay at the Academy Awards. The acting was great. The premise was great. The twists that came out of nowhere that I didn't expect, and then like the when you realize why it's called Parasite, you're like, oh my gosh. So I was really blown away by this film. Pleasantly surprised. I'm so happy that it got the recognition that it got last year at the Academy Awards, and I really think everybody should watch it because it isn't just. I love that it didn't just win for Best International Film, but it won for Best Film. And I think for the Asian community, that's a huge thing when it comes to film and television, because you tend to think when, I find it interesting, when there's all black people in a movie, it's a black film. Or if it's all Asian people or, all people from, Mexico or whatever, it's a foreign film or whatever. But there are things within all these movies that everybody can relate to. And I've never really understood why we separate so much in that sense, because, to not try to get too political, but, white is the default when it comes to film and television. For some reason, they think white is what everybody can relate to, and it's easy and all this. I mean, granted, we do have our culture. Black people have culture, Asian people have culture, but there's still things that you can relate to. I remember when Best Man Holiday came out, and there was an article in USA Today that said something like race-themed movie, and it's like, what? Yeah. Oh, I gotta find this article. Yeah, it said The Best Man Holiday was a race-themed movie, and it's like, no, it wasn't. It was about family. It was about the holidays. It was about seeing friends again. Like, how is that race-themed just because the entire cast was black? It was very, very bizarre to me. But I feel like people tend to think that when they see not casts that are pretty much non-white. But Parasite was fantastic to me, and I'm really proud of it. So I highly recommend seeing it since it's on Hulu. But what were you going to say about it?
So a friend of mine works for a film festival, and had mentioned, hey, if you want to go check out some movies, I got some free passes, yada, 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 sent me the list. Of course, it was an Asian film festival. Didn't recognize any of the movies, but just reading some of the log lines on a couple, that sounds cool, that sounds cool. And I saw Parasites, that sounds interesting. I had to go check that out. And I didn't go, and they said, well, I can just send you the link. We have, all the screeners. Okay, send me the link. didn't send me the link. Something happened. Well, anyways, it just kept happening. I just didn't see the movie, right? And then I was like, whatever. No, didn't think about it. Then I hear the Oscar nominations come out, and I'm like, wait, what? What? And then it wins everything. I'm like, I knew this already. I knew it from the get-go, from the jump. I had a feeling about that movie.
That's hilarious.
And now I still haven't seen it.
That's
so
so
when
funny.
you bring it up, I'm like, oh my God.
It's, so, do you have Hulu?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you got to watch it. It's just, it's so good. It really is. And I'm curious to see your response. It's one of the most original plots I've ever seen, honestly.
Wow.
It's just great. It's so original. And I just love the marketing for it too. Like I love the cover of the cover for the movie and everything. It's great. So Parasite, go see it. It's on Hulu. It's free. You don't even have to go to the theaters to see it.
Oh, that's right. It's free. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So my other movie recommendation was nominated for some Academy Awards, and it's just one of those movies that was just shot so extremely well. And someone just mentioned to me about it, how it was possible. Didn't say it was shot like this, but made it. How should I put it? I don't want to ruin the movie but it's 1917. The war movie.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. Go ahead. Keep talking about it.
The way it was shot, and then someone said, "Did you realize this happened or this didn't happen?" So I want to ruin what the person said to me, but it made me think about the whole movie experience in a different way, and it just made me love it that much more. I was like, I didn't realize that. That movie was fabulous, and I also love movies that don't have a script or a plot that I can guess. Like sometimes you can just imagine, okay, if it's a war movie, someone's getting shot, someone's gonna die, whatever.
Right.
But the way they did this movie, the things that happen, the twists, the turns, and this, I'm like, okay, I stopped guessing. I stopped trying to figure the movie out, and I'm like, okay, let me just watch it, enjoy it. And 1917, 100% got me.
I'm 100% with you. It was an experience. Like I truly felt like I was being taken on a journey with the lead character. Felt like I was there, and I don't think it's. I know what you were gonna say. I don't think like it's spoiling anything by saying what you were talking about in regards to the movie, but because you can look this up and see it, it doesn't spoil anything. But it was all shot basically in one take.
Yes, I just got chills right now. It's just freaking what? But when you watch it,
right, and just for like. It's cinematic history to be able to do that. And I think it's such an advancement in what now filmmakers are able to do. I was just blown away by that. I couldn't believe it watching it. I knew it going in, and I was like, oh, how's this going to happen? And I feel like I didn't breathe the whole movie because
you don't breathe. You don't blink. I didn't move. I didn't shift in my seat. I didn't grab my drink or nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. And that kid, that was his first movie ever. I don't know if you knew that.
What?
Yeah. It was his first movie.
Wow. Okay. Welcome.
I remember watching his interview on Jimmy Fallon. I forget how he got this role, but yeah, it was his first film, like major film. I think he did like smaller things, maybe like short films or whatever, but it was completely his first thing, and he killed it. Like it was amazing. But yeah, just cinematically, it's unlike anything you will ever see. It's like you won't ever see anything like that. And yeah, I agree. I highly recommend it. Also with that movie, the score was phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah, complete inside and out. Just a very well, completely amazing done film. Like it's something like that when you say, who thought you could do this? Like who sits around and puts this together? Like I know that we have some really high level, emotionally just charged people out there who are just creative geniuses. But this is crazy. Like just to come up with what they did and to put it all together and have it work. It's not. You got to be a little bit lucky, and they were 100% with this one.
Yeah. So I just looked it up. So yeah, it was his first like major film, and I think in America because he's a British actor. So that's pretty amazing to land that as like your breakout role.
It's just like what? Yeah, lucky kid.
But yeah, hands down, the score, the cinematography, the direction, the acting. And I'm going to tell you this without giving it away, but I know you'll know what I'm talking about. That one scene, and I think you know what I mean when I'm like, that one scene where he's running.
Uh-huh.
the falls that happened, those just happened. He wasn't directed, and he just went with it because he had to keep
What?
going because it was one take. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
okay.
incredible.
Okay.
It's incredible. I know. The more you think about it, that really changed the game for filmmakers. I think it like set the bar so high.
Yeah, because I mean, we had some great war movies in the past 10, 20 years, but now you're like, you see this, like, well, yeah, we can't really do
Yep.
that now. It's like,
Yep.
no.
Yep. I agree. Okay, so I'm really changing pace a little bit with my next film recommendation, but I totally forgot about this movie. Again, it's also on Hulu. Um, it's going to be a cult classic, I think, and it's hilarious. I mean, it came out. Oh God, what year did this movie come out? I think like 2012. But if you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods,
Huh?
do you know Cabin in the Woods?
No.
What? Oh my God. Okay. So I'm a huge horror movie fan. I love scary movies. I know that's weird, but I love scary movies. But Cabin in the Woods is like basically making fun of scary movies in a very, very tasteful and original way. And it has a really great cast in it. And the the like plot at the end, the plot twist at the end is really really gets you. So Cabin in the Woods, I think, is so fun. It's hilarious. It's a little scary sometimes, but I think if you need something just entertaining to watch while you're at home and quarantined and eating your copious amounts of snacks, Cabin in the Woods
Right.
is absolutely the movie. I'm surprised you haven't seen that.
Cabin. I'm not a big horror filmer kind of cat, but I mean, I will watch it if it's well done, if it and it's not just a bunch of gore.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've not watched a lot of murder movies or excuse me, horror movies, but
Mm-hmm.
if you're watching it, I guess I have to.
No, it's good. It's good. I think you'll think it's funny because it's more making fun of horror movies, but it still has a little scare to it. But it's almost a parody of itself. It's like making fun of
Okay,
itself. It's
okay,
good. It's good. All right,
wow.
what's last on your list?
For a movie, so I couldn't remember the name of this movie. It wasn't a big one, but I wanted to pick one that kind of was quarantine-ish. I don't want to go with a lot of the other ones people have mentioned, like Contagion and some of these other ones like that, but this one was kind of different. It was called The Island.
The
Remember this
Island
movie?
with Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Ruffalo.
No. No, it was Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson.
Oh no, I don't know that.
Yeah, it was I don't know how you remember it, just some visuals that I remember that it's kind of a utopian, dystopian kind of feel to it. Um, And so I had to go online. I was thinking of a bunch of different things of clicking on people wearing white, no emotion, whatever, and nothing was coming up. Every other movie I could think of was coming up except this one. Then I just went to Ewan McGregor's IMDb list and finally found it. Um, but it's a kind of a simple movie to a lot of we've seen where people can't show emotion or whatever. But this one has kind of a twist in that it's kind of an action movie, not just like just depressing and whatever. Something switches and you figure something out. Kind of like The Giver. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that. We're just kind of just melancholy the whole time. The island's kind of fun, but it kind of has that same feel to it, but it kind of has a nice change to it. So I don't want to have people just watching movies to get more depressed about what they're
Right.
into, but give them
Right.
some hope of getting out of the island or getting off the island. So that's one I would highly
The
recommend.
Island. Yeah, I was thinking of Shutter Island. That's the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and
Oh
Mark
yeah,
Ruffalo.
that was weird.
Yeah.
No, do not watch that.
Oh, so funny. All right. Well, my last recommendation as a whole, I'm sure I would be very surprised if you haven't watched any of this series, but it's on Netflix. It's been on for a few years, and it kind of feeds into just how technology affects us in our everyday life. I'm talking about Black Mirror. If you haven't watched any of Black Mirror, it's disturbing. It's very well done. The last season was but definitely the first like 4 seasons, it makes you question a lot of things, and we already know Carmel already does it anyway. So everything. But Black Mirror, it really does make you like question like the role that technology plays in society in our lives. And a lot of it's kind of creepy. You see some of it's starting to come true. But I love the Black Mirror episodes. I mean, it does make you a little paranoid. It makes you think about things, but I love how it's well done. I love how the first few seasons there's pretty much all unknown actors. And I think that that's what drew me to it, because I like seeing new faces. I like seeing new people. They started to try to get a little mainstream this last season, which is why I was probably turned off. But if you haven't watched any of Black Mirror, it's still good. It still stands, and I think it's great. Have you watched Black Mirror?
I watched a couple episodes and I had to stop. freaked me out.
It's creepy.
It's very creepy. It makes you, I'm already a critical thinker, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just amped it up a lot more.
Oh, I'm sure.
I just watched it. I'm trying looking at everything differently. My watch, my phone, my car. What's this clicking sound?
It'll make you turn around and think twice and check everything for sure.
Everything.
Sure.
Like I'm talking to my mom. You really my mom?
Mm-hmm.
You really my mom? What's going on here? Like, why are you so nice to me? What's going on? Like, looking at your food weird. Opening the door twice. Like, what is this? Is this a real door? Everything. It's very. And I also agree the fact that some of the actors were people I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I like that more. That kind of made me. It made it more real. Like, if it's like the same people I see every day on the show or movies, like, okay, you know it's a movie, but watching with people, and they were all good actors.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
They were faces I didn't recognize. It made it that more disturbing.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, do you have any other final recommendations before we wrap up this episode?
Yeah, last one I will say, Making a Murderer.
Ooh,
on Netflix.
Yeah. Yes.
One of the most intriguing stories I have ever heard in my life.
Yep, I'm with you on that.
To this day, I watched it, and then I watched the second season, and then I forgot the first season, and then remembering this guy's story and his family story, and I'm like, how is this real? How is this happening in this day and time? And this is not like frontline news. It made some news headlines, but it wasn't like what I would expect it to be after watching that documentary. But yeah, just strange that this is actually happening in America.
Yeah, but also not surprising, actually.
Yeah.
You know,
It just lends itself to my critical thinking.
I mean, we know that the justice system is corrupt. It is interesting to see it actually happen to white males, to be honest.
Yes.
That's kind of what the shocker for me with that series was. I was like, this is happening to white males. We didn't know about this. This is crazy. So this really is just, in general, a corrupt system, which we knew, but like that kind of validated it to see that it literally could happen to anybody. We know it happens, way more to minorities and men of color specifically, but to see that these are white males that are getting dragged by the system, that was crazy to me.
Yes, 100% agree.
So
100%.
Making a Murderer, I completely agree. All right. Well, I love those recommendations, Karmel, but I'm definitely going to check out The Heist because that sounds super interesting.
Super fun. Really, really, really well done. You'll enjoy it.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, thanks so much for listening. We got one more episode before we wrap up season 2. We'll take a little break and we'll be back for season 3 of We Need to Talk in June. We hope you guys are staying safe and well and sane in this quarantine, and we will talk to y'all next week.
Y'all be good.
All right. Bye. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at We Need to Talk the Podcast and Twitter at _We Need to Talk _.